We are live. Welcome everyone. Thanks for joining me. I am here today with the gorgeous Daria Hanson. Hi, Daria.
Wonderful. Thank you so much to have me here.
Thank you for being here. So, Daria is, for those of you that don't know, a 3-day body facilitator. So, she works with bodies a lot. She's been facilitating access consciousness for like, I don't know, ever. And and she's actually one of those people that I would say embody magic. And you have some really cool stories about your journey with access and your body, how your body spoke, and all that kind of stuff, which we might touch on today. But first, could we just even explore what is embodiment? Because I think a lot of people are like, what does that mean to even embody?
Well, if we listen to the word embodiment, right,
Mm-hmm.
we slightly hear in body. So us in our bodies, with our bodies, and function in this world with the gift of having a body, not the suffering of having a body. Because most of us were raised with suffering of having a body. You have temperature, you have sneezes, you have sniffles, you have aches, you have bruises, you break something, you cut something. So you always are worried about your body as a piece rather than like you can't break, rather than something that actually can help you go through life with ease, joy, and glory and create everything you can dream of and more that is actually available to you.
I love that. Yes. Hi, Claire. I don't know if you can see the chat. Hi, Claire. Thanks for joining us. That's so beautiful. I remember that, like growing up, and there's a lot of body suffering, a lot of pain, like my parents would go through, and then I would do things with my body that I wasn't supposed to. Like I'm 5'3" ish, maybe a little below. Like I'm pretty tall, I'm pretty short,
I've
and I would.
for all this years, I don't think you measured yourself. I've learned that I've grown in the last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I have. I
Well,
can.
not I have grown too, but my body also has.
Yeah. Okay, so that's part of the magic. I want to get to that. So I would like work at Pier One is a furniture store that used to be here in Canada, and I would like lift stuff off the truck, like armoires, like full furniture. And I'm just this little short thing, but I loved it. And I would like wait till no one was looking, and then I'm like, I'm just gonna do it myself. And then they would be like, how did you get this off? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. And like just not really knowing how to explain that I could like do this with my body.
Magic.
Magic. So tell me about, so your body actually growing. We know that, the medical world says you stop growing at a certain age. Yeah, what kind of magic have you seen shown up? And without trying to define it, what creates that? What creates the magic with bodies and
Let's do
change?
that. What has been created is great. All kinds of magic. People change their body in so much, in so many dynamic ways. But it's what creates the magic is actually what is there for us to probably take a look at. Because for every one of us, the magic that is created is going to be different.
Yeah.
But what creates the magic? It's that thing that you've started with, is the embodiment. And embodiment is being present with the body. And we've heard being present with the body a lot. Be present, be here and now, listen to your body. But what does it actually mean? Everybody has their own perspectives. I truly love what Access has shown me with that, because it opened up my world with my body. Being present with my body wasn't about just looking at it or being aware of it, but also being present with what it actually tells me, what it requires, not from my mind, not from what experts say and I listen to them to prevent or fix something. I listen to my body from the perspective it knows exactly what it requires. it knows exactly where we need to go and where we need to get that. It was so interesting. Yesterday, I was reading a very interesting article, and we were standing in a coffee shop with my daughter, waiting in the lineup to get our coffees. And she was sitting on the other, actually, she wasn't sitting next to me. She was sitting on the other side of the coffee shop. And I'm reading this, and I'm like, oh, that would be really awesome for maybe Sophia to perceive too. I wonder what her point of view on that is. I didn't say anything out loud. Her body gets up, walks over to me, and starts to read this article with me. And then she looks at me and she goes, Mom, this is so true. I need to know more what my body requires. I have to stop listening to what everybody else thinks. I'm like, oh, okay. So her body was aware that there is an information here that could get this being to perceive more of the body. Wow. Okay. And then she goes, no, I still want coffee. Yeah. And her body once in a while does crave a coffee. Coffee has something that her body requires once in a while, but not all the time. But how many of us create habits, right? Like vitamin habits, exercise habits, coffee habits, eating habits, sleeping habits. We have our whole life revolving around habits, and that actually doesn't allow us to be embodied. It doesn't allow us to be present with our bodies, because the requirements and the desires of the body changes just like we change. Today, you are not the same as yesterday, and your body is not the same too. And even science tells us that cells change and renew all the time. Different time period for different kind of cells, but they still renew. So they will require different elements. And how do you know what it requires? Well, only by asking. And with the access tools in the 3D body class, that opens up that magic of being able to perceive, receive, and have your body with ease. Like for me, it's the most beautiful thing in the world.
I really noticed that for myself too. The more 3D body classes I take, it's so much clearer to get a sense of, like you said, like not from my mind. Because when I started, it was all from my mind. Like I'm asking the question, then I'm trying to like think about it. I'm trying to perceive it. I'm like, la, 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 you know, it's like a big mind game. And to really, the more body process that I have run, and I run on others, I noticed that communion greater, but that clear communication showing up. So I love what you said about, you just wondered, oh, I wonder if Sophia would like to read this. And then her body kind of heard that whisper, I guess. Yeah. Because there's a question here, and I'm like curious to play. So Natasha asks, how can you ask your body to respond to a boy crush if he's a little shy? I'm not sure if Natasha's trying to manipulate his body.
Or herself.
Or herself. I don't know. But can we actually communicate?
Than herself.
Yeah. So can we actually communicate directly to other people's bodies?
Well, one of the things that actually does open up with all this body process, that the ways of activating the energies in the bodies, that opens up in the 3D body class, and other energy space that becomes available to us in the 3D body class, opens up our sexualness. Infinite source of receiving. And when you are being sexual, you don't need to manipulate someone else into liking you or responding to your crush. You are that. And if they either like it or they don't, but you always have choice. And that's what most beautiful thing. You don't make other people the source of your reality anymore. You and your body is the source of your reality. And everything else that matches that vibration that energy, that space, and that consciousness that you are starts being attracted to you and magnetized to you and come to you in your life. You don't have to worry whether they like you or not anymore. It's like it becomes not a problem. No matter what your body look like and what height it is, what color it is, it's like you are the sexual. You are the energy that receives and is being received.
That's amazing. And that's such that magic embodied, because it's magic to just draw in like everything that would be that contribution, everything. Cindy Center says sexualist, yes, including all the energies. Turn me up, turn me on. Yay, Cindy. And Nihan says, hi, looking forward to seeing you both in person this week. Yes, I can't wait. So those of you that don't know, Daria's actually in Kelowna, BC, Canada.
Shortly this time.
Shortly will be. And she will be facilitating 3 days with these body processes. There's some questions, some talking, also some kind of, I would say, body whispering, where the bodies get to talk. And I noticed your presence. Yeah. Because I got to take a 3-day body class with you. It feels like forever ago, but 6 months ago or something. Oh, was it a year ago? Okay. Yes. And the presence that you and your body have with the participants was really cool to be a part of and to receive. And so if any of your bodies might be like leaning forward, like into this screen, like mine is, your body might be saying, hey, I'd really like to be in that class too. So, okay, can we talk a little bit more about, okay, I love what you talked about, not from your mind. You now have this body presence. You're doing this co-creation thing. So what's the gift of like embodying that magic? We're talking about pulling things, but what else? Like how else, if we were to really acknowledge the magic of bodies and the gift of them, what could we explore there?
Well, most of us function with our bodies with our mind. And our mind is a never resting computer that calculates the best nonstop, 24/7. And it requires more and more energy to get that. That. What is that word? Acknowledged by it. Because the more you start connecting with your body, if you are already listening to this, you're already somehow listening to your body. Your body mostly. Ask yourself, did you come to this Facebook Live right now? Did you come to Cassy's page, or did your body bring you here? And look at what is later. Most of the time, it is the body that goes, we need to go check out the Facebook because there will be some cool information over there that I need this guy over here. Here. And so when you start connecting with your body more and more, your mind starts requiring more energy to override your body.
Oh, wow.
And your mind starts getting faster and faster and faster at calculating. And it gets so precise at calculating that you think that it is maybe even your body that is telling you something that is required. Yes. Like, oh, I'm hungry. Let's go eat. But maybe what are you hungry for? Well, are you hungry for water? Are you hungry for air? Are you hungry for earth? Are you hungry for warmth? Are you hungry for sex? Are you hungry for play? Are you hungry for just movement? What are you hungry for? Like, it doesn't have to be hunger equals food. And even if it is in your world, hunger equals food, what is that food? But your mind doesn't let you go in those interesting puzzles that your body shows to you. And then once you start playing with that puzzle and putting the jigsaws in place, you see the big picture of what is available to you, body and body. And so your mind starts asking for more and more fuel. and more energy tracks to it from you, and you're not paying attention to what actually your body is requiring. And so in a 3-day body class, what happens over the 3-day period, we unhook that addiction to the mind.
Yeah.
And also basically calm your mind down, acknowledging it, understand, letting it know that it is, we're grateful for it. It has its role, and we start building up the presence with the body so much more over the 3 days that eventually by the end of the 3 days, you have a calm mind and very alive body. It's like you can't express it. You have to really, because the way your body buzzes, the way your body lightens up and becomes more alive, you cannot depict it. It only can be.
Yeah.
That's my intake on that. What's going on here and there.
Yeah.
I love that. My mind used to be a nonstop calculating machine. And it took me a few 3-day body classes to unravel that. But also, throughout those 10 years of me taking the classes, Access Consciousness tools have become so much more dynamic that we don't need as much anymore to get to the place, which is even more fascinating to me. It's like we, the oldies, have gone through the harsh. We had to learn patience, but it worked. And with the even more dynamic tools and energies available right now, what a gift. Like, you don't have to go to a few 3-day body classes to get to a place of calmness and ease with your body. You can pretty much in during the first class. And afterwards, you start gifting and receiving to you these energies all anytime you require them. I sleep, I go to sleep and I put my hands on the body and I activate the energies. It's a constant mutation of the body and change of the body that creates more for me now in the present and in the future. It's like our bodies, how I perceive our bodies is a physical form of our energy. And so anything that we as energy can think of, like to, our body can create that.
Woo!
Connect with. And the body, because body is made of the same molecules as all of this physical reality, it knows the ways. We as the being, as the energy, as the space, we know all kinds of dimensions and realities. And to this reality, what connects us is our body. And it's not the limitation, it's actually a gift and the tool to create an experience. I often say to my clients when they want to take a class with me or a telecall or something, they say, hey, do you have like a layaway or something, a way of paying you later, or like installment payments? And I always say, ask your body. Ask your body to create that in time for the class, in time for the telecall, in time for that session. Whatever you need, ask your body to create that with you. And then respond and act on anything that's going to show up that seems like it can create that. And that maybe money just come your way, a gift, or somebody else from a long, long, long time ago wakes up and remembers of the debt they owe you. And they're like, oh my God, I've got to pay this off now. Or a woman was sitting in a restaurant and telling her friends at the dinner that she wanted to go tomorrow to the class. And she didn't have the money, and she mentioned the amount. And there was a next table to them with the men. Apparently they heard the conversation, and when they left a stack of bills. And when they were leaving the restaurant, they said, there is something there for you. She came
Wow.
out counted exactly 80,000 of what she required.
Wow.
So you don't ever know how the money can come to you and how the body will create, but she was drawn to speak about this at the restaurant with her friends and still saying, I still have a hope that it can show up even though the class is tomorrow, basically 12 hours. And it did. So her body manipulated her into speaking about that, knowing that there's some nearby who could probably respond to that. Maybe it is a thing for them to make someone else's dream a reality. So you never know how it can show up, but it can. And the body is the tool to create with. It's a gift that we can use to create our reality, our life, our future. And I'm a big fan of the body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that so much. And it is miraculous how many people, especially the 3-day body classes, I find the money bizarrely shows up, you know? Yeah, good job, body. So you mentioned aliveness. You mentioned like the quiet mind, but then an aliveness with the bodies. I know that the last couple of years, a lot of people have talked about a lack of aliveness, tiredness, exhaustion, overwhelm, stress, which doesn't match that like relaxation, peace and calm, yet aliveness, which is so different. So is there if any, I just pinged on someone like those 3-day body classes, what can we share with people about how it can actually create that aliveness or invite the aliveness or clear out all the other stuff I talked about? Like, hello from Serbia. Hello.
There isn't one specific tool. It's when you have at your disposal 60 different energies that are alive in our bodies, they might not be alive yet, but they are in our body. It's like we have many muscles that most of the time a normal person doesn't use. But when you get on the horse, you start using those very little muscles to create magic, basically. I don't know, countering in the field, not holding on to the horse, but yet going like 100 miles or something, right? It's little muscles that work. But in a normal life, you never use them. Or when you, I don't know, do kickboxing or play tennis or play volleyball or basketball, when you just start playing any sports or any kind of new physical activity, you start feeling little elements of your body coming to life because they're now used. It's been there. You just never had access to them or required the access to them. And now you do. And when the more of that body you use, the more of those little energies you use, the more alive you become, the stronger you become, the more literally your immune system becomes so unbreakable and non-possible to influence that nothing really gets under your skin, basically. It's like I've been traveling since 2019,
Yeah.
every week on the plane, on the buses, in the trains, with tens, thousands of people, and I have not been sick. Can I have a little sluggish day? Maybe. But that sluggish day, well, it's not a day, it's like a couple hours. I turn on one of those energies and I'm great again. It's just my body goes, hey, we forgot to use this energy, or we refuse that energy over here. Let's add that. Let's receive it, and we can be great again. and I pay attention to those little details, but I have not been actually sick. I think how does it get any better than that?
Yeah. That's magic.
Me, my entire team that travels with me, not being sick.
Yeah.
It's not particularly to my body, it's to those bodies that use the tools and open up to the greatness of what our bodies are capable of. And so every single time we apply those tools from the 3-day body class, meaning use the energies, the body processes on yourselves or on somebody else, even if it's a dog, you actually receive that energy too. You've got to activate it inside of you to be able to activate it in somebody else. Like when I smile, you want to smile. When I want to cry, you start thinking of crying too. Like, that face over there, you might be still in a good mood, but your body will reflect what it sees, right? Same here. When you become more alive without these energies, everybody around you starts becoming more alive too. Everybody else starts becoming aware of the body too. It's just how it is. It's a domino. And then instead of you being at the effect of everybody else's stuff, how the entire world feels, and the entire world feels very shaky for the last 3 years, you become that leader. You become that main domino, basically, on which every other domino can rest. You're the one who's like, oh, yeah, you feel a little sluggish. Oh, that's okay. That can change. Oh, you feel a little sick? Oh, that's okay. That can change. It's probably just a change. And then you become that sober element that is affecting now the world rather than you being at the effect of it. So before you were part of the 90% that were following the order of one, now you're 1% that wakes up everybody else. That's different.
Yeah.
And I think it's a great gift. It's like when you have a bad mood, or you were broken heart, or heartbroken, something sad happened in your life.
Yeah.
And then a friend of yours shows up at the door with the flowers and a bottle of wine, a big smile, and the news that she's getting married. Will you still be in a bad mood? You can't hold on to it, right? You're like, I'll deal with that later. And then the longer you be in that energy of gratitude, celebration, joy, ease, lightness, the easier you completely forget about what was going over there. And as you enjoy this new rhythm, that old rhythm just changes. So I would rather be that friend with a bottle of wine with a on the face and always the great news, rather than being that person who is looking at news, the world around us, and go, I don't know how to live with that. I don't know how to deal with that. No, let's activate our energies, activate our bodies to the fullness of its capacity, and generate the life that we would like to live. So we're not at the effect of anything that's going on, and we're affecting it.
I love that. Yes, I love that so much. And, I think look at the healers of the world, right? The empaths, the people that want to shut it off, because they're functioning from this place where they are at the effect of everything. Where they don't, like, they want to just tighten up and live in their little home and get smaller because they haven't come to that space where they acknowledge, like, it's a massive gift. And what if being a healer wasn't like slurping the sludge out of everyone?
the gift of being a healer is such a huge topic, honestly, and it reveals itself in a 3D body class too. There is not just one side to being a healer. It's the good person that always understands everyone and takes the pain away. It's also the strength and the capacity to be of consciousness that allows you to perceive, receive, and know what exactly is creating in the person's life and their body the disease, and also having the strength and the tenacity to direct the person to acknowledge, come to the awareness themselves so they can claim and own it and change it. Change their consciousness, and then once their consciousness changes, then the body changes. The healers, the healing that we're used to is come to me, I'll take your pain away. Yeah. Well, where do you take that pain away? Where do you store that pain now that you took away?
Is it here?
In your own body. Now, a lot of great healers, honestly, great healers, but they gain weight, they get sick, and eventually, I know a few who died from the diseases they were experts on healing. Why? Because they didn't have ways to do that healing differently, or to at least not take it on themselves. Take it away, but don't put it in your body. You don't need to keep it so that it doesn't come back. So I love Access tools with regards to healing, especially because of that notion that we don't need to take anything away from anybody. We require to empower them to know what they and their bodies know and bring that to light so they can become the strength and the power and the change they're here to be. Like that. And with this, all the body processes, you get to that place. And with all the verbal processing too, you stop being the garbage truck driver. And you become the person who shines the light. Just by being next to the person, not saying anything, not doing anything specifically, they can become aware of something in their world that they're required to change and shift. And that is way more easy than actually taking it. Because imagine what happens, you have, let's say, 10% of the population healers, and they take away the pain of 90% of population. What's going to become with those 10% healers? Oof. Now it's 100% suffering.
Yeah.
Only the 10% don't want to acknowledge that. I've been there. Like, I've been that person who always had to take away somebody else's pain. And I've changed that. I don't have to do that anymore. And there is way more change now showing up for people than when I was taken away. Because when I was taking away pain, I could deal only with one person.
Right.
But when I was empowering them to bring out that consciousness that lives in them outside and live from that consciousness, now there can be hundreds, thousands, millions. That's so different. And the funniest part is when you like chocolate and you're used to eating chocolate every day and you know it harms you, for example, you know it doesn't do well your body as much as you would like it to. And then somebody comes along and goes, hey, you know what? That thing causes you troubles. It actually harms your body. It actually makes you sick. I'm going to take all your chocolate away. What do you do?
Go get more chocolate.
Exactly.
You took my chocolate.
I want my chocolate. Nobody tells me what to do. Yeah. Even if it harms me, it's my chocolate. If I kill myself, I kill myself. Don't tell me what to do. right? We don't like people telling us what. We
Yeah.
don't like following the rules. So if everybody says chocolate is bad, you're gonna go get more chocolate just because you're different. It doesn't affect me as much. It doesn't affect me at all. It just makes me happy, right? So you're gonna get more of it. Same with suffering, same with pain, same with misery. You take that away from people, they go find another source of that, connect to it, and then you become a non-resting misery takeaway machine. When are you going to live? When is your time to enjoy life? Did you really take on a job of vacuum cleaning this planet from the, I don't know, sickness, illness, disease, misery, and suffering? I don't think so. I don't think you would come to the planet to be miserable.
Yeah.
Well, the body is the space of joy. So embodying on the planet probably could be about the joy. And consciousness creates that. When you choose consciousness, when you include everything and judge nothing, when you aware and know and be and receive everything with no judgment, when you're aware of your body so much that you can connect to the very tiny light feather touches of awareness that your body gives you and act on it, then everything can be ease, joy, and glory. That's my take. I like it that way. Well, in the last 3 years, I've enjoyed my life even more because I've been choosing being that. It might be a gift that we've been going through all this hardship, basically, to learn that we can choose our own reality and spread that as far as we can spread that, and only we can choose to be it and spread it, and whether those tiny seeds get planted somewhere or not, it doesn't depend on us anymore. Whether that soil accepts that seed or not, it doesn't depend on us anymore. But we've done what we could by letting those seeds fly. And it's their choices now. And it's pretty hard to hold on to your misery when somebody else around you is happy. I love the new statement. Access tools. Access is here to get you happy and get you to stay there, something like that.
Yeah.
Get happy and be there. Be there.
Yeah, and to be happy with your body, to be happy embodied. I mean, wow, it's such a gift.
When I'm in so much amazement of what is possible in our bodies when we don't come to conclusion. Like when you have a little sniffle, like we were talking yesterday with my daughter. We were discussing something with her, and she goes, "Oh, that's my body told me not to do this because it got this." And then literally 30 seconds later, she goes and she does this. It's like this sniff came out of nowhere, and she goes, "Well, probably the weather changed so dramatically." I'm like, "Yeah, from 33 to 32, dramatic change." and I perceive that, like, she said what was not true, and she knows it's not true deep inside, but she would rather explain that, justify that in a way that is comfortable to her, rather than actually access that knowing that she has with regards to what was actually going on. And her body went, hey, you're not saying the truth. You don't want to know what you actually know, right? Knows.
Yeah.
He knows. It knows. And she goes, and I said that to her. She goes, "Well, no, I don't think so." I'm like, "Oh yeah." And literally, as soon as I acknowledged that, her sniffle stopped. I acknowledged it. Her body went, "Well, thank you. You brought her attention to that." She might not still listen to you right now, but at least the seed is planted.
Yeah.
But like if I was a normal parent and I would see the sniffles that are literally running down the nose, what would I do? I would start looking for a treatment.
Yeah.
And then by me doing that, I settle that reality that I created with my decision and conclusion and the judgment, and her conclusion and the decision and judgment. The weather changed.
Yeah.
We would be dealing with something that would be causing her problems in her body. And we would be treating something that probably would not go away. It doesn't actually exist. It's an illusion that we, her and I, two people, holding in place as a reality.
Woo!
Because to create a reality only takes two people. Agreeing or disagreeing doesn't matter. As long as you're in charge.
John Ashford's here. He's saying, hey, lovely people. And then he said, wow, John, come to Kelowna.
Yeah. I want to
3-day body class. Healing outside the box. Love it. Yeah. Well, there's so much. I'm like, oh, we could talk about this. We could talk about this. We've been doing this for 40 minutes. I think if they want more from you, people should come to class.
I agree.
I agree. And I just want to tease them with one more thing before we go, Daria. I think it's so funny. You posted something a few days ago about this blurb from the Advanced Money Workbook.
Yeah.
And I was literally the same day reading the same page and going, I should post about this. And then you did. So it was talking about the body being comfortable, and where we're always trying to make the being comfortable, but the being isn't actually comfortable. It's expansive. One thing I noticed at 3-day body classes is how comfortable my body starts to become. Yeah. And so is there anything, what little tease can you give about this? What, like, let's just leave them on a little delicious note.
Just stay comfortable. Don't get expansive.
Yeah. Just keep your being comfortable. Yeah. In your little, whatever home. Don't leave the house and love it. Then your life can be comfortable.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be expansive.
Expansive and full of joy and magic. All right, thank you, everyone. I will post in the description the link to. It's coming like right up. It is on Thursday, right before. Yeah, this Thursday. In Kelowna, we have this beautiful venue with like light coming down right down by the water in Kelowna, BC. Come join us. Bring your body if you want. Thank you so much, Daria. I'm really grateful.
Bring your body for sure. Not if you want.
Yeah, if you're gonna come, your body should come.
Bring you to the class. That would be even more correct.
Yes.
See you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, Cassy.
Thank you.